Oh, hello, I didn't even notice you there. What a great intro, Deep Dark. You really nailed that one. Today's video is brought in with you, or to you, in collaboration with my friend Stizzl. We're going to talk about different things that will come over from the last game and might make an appearance in the second game in Silksong. I'm going to talk about the characters while he will talk about some other stuff which you will see in a minute. But before we start the video, I just want to address a quick thing, basically. My friend MythReel has a dog which needs an operation, but sadly he can't afford it. So he has asked us and his fans for help if we could maybe bring some money together to save his dog because it needs the operation immediately. And so in the comment section down below and in the description there will be a link to a GoFundMe page where you can support MythReel. Every dollar helps. Please support him and his dog. It would really mean a lot to him and to us as well. So without further ado, let's start the video. Stizzl, you can commence.
First of all, let's start with the obvious stuff. Silksong is also a Metroidvania with a vast open world to discover. So if you have played Hollow Knight, well, Silksong is basically Hollow Knight 2. Benches make a return from Hollow Knight and are used to rest and map out the kingdom. The death mechanic also makes a return, but instead of having to fight a shade, Hornet will find a cocoon which will actually help her by giving her silk once it has been destroyed. This of course opens up tactical advantages when fighting bosses, as we will be able to choose when to destroy the cocoon. The first big change in Silksong is the charms, now known as tools. In Hollow Knight, we were able to find charms which are essentially buffs or ability altering items and equip a certain amount of them depending on how many notches the player had. Notches could also be bought and found in the game. The fun thing with charms was that some of them affected each other, meaning that if you equip two certain charms the effects would change. In Silksong, things are more complicated. Charms are now called tools. They're made and found by Hornet herself and also have crossover effects between each other, according to Team Cherry. Now, what makes them different? I've talked about tools before, but I've left out some parts that came into my mind later. First, let's go over the details we for sure know. Right now there are three types of tools, namely red tools who are used actively and blue and yellow ones, the effects of which are unknown as of now. Though if I had to guess, I would say blue tools are passive effects and yellow ones are for exploration. Furthermore, we have different crests. Hornet can equip one tool each of the three categories when wearing the Wanderer crest. At the bottom we also see another crest, most likely being named Beast Crest or Weaver Crest, as they look similar to the weavers we have seen so little of in Hallownest. What does this new crest do? Does it have different slots? For example, two red ones and a blue one, instead of one red, blue and yellow one respectively? Are there more than three types of tools, some of which can only be used by certain crests? I mean, otherwise they would have to make crests equally strong, because if one crest had more slots than the other one, certain crests would likely become obsolete after getting a stronger variant. Also, can crests be upgraded? We can only speculate about all of this. If I had to guess, I would say all crests are equally usable in theory, depending on the build the player will be going for. There will be 3 to 5 different crests and only the 3 tool colors we have seen so far. That of course is pure speculation, but just remember the salt with which you need to take all of this. The tools can be used up and need to be repaired by using shell shards, one of the two currencies, while sitting on a bench. The second currency are rosary beads, which are most likely going to have a similar use as Geo in Hollow Knight. Both these currencies can be picked up from enemies or found in the world. We also have no idea how new moves are acquired. It is possible that certain key items will just stay equipped, like the Mothrin Cloak or the Mantis Claw from Hollow Knight. However, there are also tools allowing us to actually get a more versatile moveset. Hornet will have a near identical map function-wise compared to the map the Knight had in Hallownest. While we have not seen it, we do know that it is going to work very similarly, according to Team Cherry. Meaning we explore the kingdom and only by sitting on benches we will be able to update our map. I love this system and I'm glad it will make a return in some form. While we have not seen the map itself, there are already some great mock-ups, some of which I will show you right now. Another big change is the quest system. There will now be quests posted on quest boards all around the kingdom. We know 4 types for now. them being Gathering, Wayfarer aka Escorting, Hunting and Grand Hunting quests. The thing many of us have asked ourselves is how many of the overall quests will be displayed in this way. Remember, it would make no sense at all if some faraway shaman or something is in trouble and his quest was displayed all the way in the next town. Compared to Sode from Hollow Knight, he would not be able to post the quest while being stuck in Deepnest, and no one would post it for him because no one gives a flying fuck about Sode. That's it from me, for now. Let me finally give DeepDoc his time to shine. Take it away, my friend.
Talking about characters is quite hard, I'd say, because aside literally our main character, no NPC from Hollow Knight is bound to appear in Silksong. And if you would ask me personally, then there is only one character which is close to guaranteed to return, but we will get to that one in a minute. The best thing is that we can already exclude large parts of the characters just by going with how the game plays out. Kroll and Tiso die, Bretta can die, Elderbug would never leave Hallownest except if he was also somehow captured and taken to Farloom, which would make no sense. The Hollow Knight can die, the Pale King is dead, the White Lady cannot leave or will not leave, and so on and so forth. Even Zode will also thereby never appear in Farloom, because if Team Cherry wants to keep all options canon, then Zode dies in one of his timelines. He cannot appear in Farloom because that would exclude one part of his, storyline and make the other one canon. Well, except if Silksong is a prequel, but we all know that that is bullshit. Now, there are only a few candidates which would technically appear and still make sense. The most obvious one being Dung Defender. Yet even he has some points against it. We literally have no idea where this dude went after his storyline was finished. So he could technically appear in Farloom, yet why would he want to be there? What purpose does it even serve for this game? Is he searching for another king to protect? Maybe, but I wouldn't put my money on it. Now, what about extra content characters like Grim or Godseeker, I hear you ask? Well, Grim cannot appear, except if Silksong is once again a prequel. In one of the canon timelines, the Grim troop was banished by the Knight. So them appearing means that this timeline is not canon. The Godseekers, on the other hand, are a bit more difficult. Technically, a part of the Godseeker clan could appear, yet we know from the respective Godseeker endings that they are entrapped, either in this giant shade beast or in a single pale flower. Both of these endings are still officially canon, so my guess is no Godseekers in Farloom. Some boss rush mode, most likely, but not through the Godseekers, maybe through a journal or another character, who knows. Lastly, the only character that has a high chance of returning, and that makes sense, is our good friend Mr. Mushroom. Mr. Mushroom doesn't die at the end of his arc. He is seen leaving Farloom in the right direction, if Hornet and her captors are truly going to the right, and if he is this sort of returning character for Team Cherry's games, then it would make sense to set a precedent by bringing him back. Other than that, the Hollow Knight cast is off limits, and you guys should stop making such a fuss about old characters and rather focus on new ones. Who cares if Gigi or Tuck or Cloth or whoever could appear, if you can just focus your attention on Grindel and Seth and Chakra and all of these new wonderful bugs that just get on the wayside because you love the old characters so much. These new characters will be just as good, if not better, and we will fall in love with them once again like we did with the old cast from Hollow Knight. We don't need Silksong to just be a copy of Hollow Knight, so get that stuck in your brains and let's move on to the next chapter.
Now, after talking about these two topics extensively, let's talk about themes for a bit. What are themes or motives, you ask? Well, they are overarching moods and ways of expression throughout the story, the dialogue, the world building and the music, among other things. For example, in Hollow Knight, some of the themes were Dream and Soul, and for Silksong it is, Silk and Song. That it is in the title basically proves that those will be the most present powers in Silksong. If the original Hollow Knight were a sequel, it would surely be called something along the lines of Hollow Knight Dream Soul. Keep in mind that I said most present powers, not most powerful ones. Remember that the Void is, canonically speaking, stronger than the Infection under certain circumstances. Also, a lot of narrative themes will change. Haunted is not a blank canvas like the Night was, but instead is her painting with her own colors. So what I'm trying to say is that she has her own goals and motivations. So making the player connect with her will be a new challenge for Team Cherry, as well as writing her dialogue. But there are many more themes in the original Hollow Knight. The Descent is one thing I will maybe talk about in more detail in a different video. But to give a quick summary, Hollow Knight's theme of descending is tied to insanity, it is tied to uncovering the past, and it is tied to finding oneself. Just like that one Lisa everyone knows who lived in Australia for a few months and can't fucking shut up about it. We get it, even the limited freedom of the press in Russia somehow reminds you of the time you saw a koala fall on its face in Australia. We know you were there, but as long as you don't have a picture with Team Cherry, we don't fucking care. Okay, where was I? Ah yes, the way Hollow Knight induces crippling depression upon its residents. Seeing how Silksong is all about ascending on a pilgrimage might suggest lighter themes, since it is an inversion of the first game, but I 100% doubt that. I think we will deal a lot with unfulfillment. We'll have to deal with the obsession of salvation, and at the end, in what twisted ways this salvation is granted upon the bugs who make it to the ground of the kingdom. We are surely in for a dark and haunted adventure, once Silksong drops. Thanks Deep Dog for joining me once again. Here's the link to our first collab, and stay safe my schnitzels, and remember, when it awakens we shall see its truth, a beast's nature, bare to all.
Haha, we have all laughed and we have all now made some good progression. We have now learned something, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. Check out Stizzl's channel in the description below. Thanks for him for collabing with me. And also check out the GoFundMe page, as I said in the beginning. It's in the description below. Please help him out if you can. It will be real cool from you. So also follow my Twitter and check my Discord, like and subscribe, give me your credit card number, maybe sell me your house. You all know that, the usual basically. So I hope you all enjoyed this video and speak soon, dear viewer. Farewell!